Hey guys, welcome to the May Montgomery Market Minute. I'm sitting here with Brandy and I'm Mike from Build Collective. We're here to share with you just a little bit of information on what's been going on this past month. It's the beginning of June and we do these just to fill you in so you can keep a pretty good grasp on Montgomery, whether or not you're a seller or a buyer. So with that said, a couple things before we jump into it. There's a lot that is happening. Obviously, we're outside of COVID.
Right.
Well, it's still happening, but we're obviously not on house arrest anymore.
Right. Things are returning to normal.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes. I know Brandy's a big fan of Corner Pub, so she's excited to be able to go up there a little bit more often. And we're actually located right below it, which is nice. And then if you haven't driven by, which is doubtful, but the Montgomery roundabout is well on its way to being constructed right now. So they're working on new lanes as far as getting around that bridge. So a lot's happened. So we call it Mount Montgomery up here that they're building with a huge pile of dirt as they kind of try to level that out for that. So that's exciting if you haven't been by that. And then also for the first time, I actually went to MPH Brewing this weekend, which is pretty cool. They have it all set up out there. Nice patio, so maybe you'll have to split time between Corner Pub.
Don't tell Corner Pub that.
I wouldn't dare. So that's exciting as well. And then the weather has been absolutely perfect the past few days. So we've been up to Walker Brothers Ice Cream, and it's just perfect for walkability, trying to get out of the house, even if you're still working from home. So we're excited about that. So a lot of good things. I guess really just trying to get everything started off on a good foot because May was fantastic. I mean,
May started really picking up.
It sure did.
26 new single-family listings in Montgomery in May. That was up from 20 in April, 17 in March. So things are starting to return to kind of normal levels.
Sure, of course.
Even during COVID, when everybody was locked down, we still saw quite a few listings, but maybe a little bit slower as far as traffic going through those. But I think the first big weekend, last weekend, was crazy.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was just having buyers out doing all the showings. I think we set like a record for showings over the past weekend.
It did, yeah. They showed that we are from last year at this time we're above that, which I mean that's a tremendous amount of showings that's happening.
Right.
So for last year, spring market was fantastic. So to beat those numbers as far as showing traffic happening, that's really incredible. So that was going in towards the end of May, right after Labor Day weekend.
Right, that very last.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the last weekend was crazy as far as number of showings, but part of the problem is inventory is still pretty low. It's starting to pick up, but it's really low. And also because of COVID, we're not allowed to, typically you can, especially in a vacant house, you can overlap showings and have as many people in there as you want. But now we don't overlap showings. So you have a window of time. And so it means not as many people getting through, and just the competition is crazy right now.
It's very intense. So we just had a listing just recently this past week where we listed it coming soon. Actually, the beginning part of the week, it went live on Friday. We had every single time blocked out with a showing in there, and then of course you can't get certain people through. So I know you had this experience just recently as well. You couldn't get your client through because by the time they'd wanted to go see it, it was already too late to get them through because everything else had been blocked out. They're taking offers, so you can't physically walk through a house. So moral of the story, if you have interest in houses, we're monitoring the MLS every second of every day with somebody on our team. So get into the house as quickly as you can, schedule a showing as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
If you have to leave work to go take a look at it, please do. We know we were actually just talking about multiple offer situations. Don't be scared of them. That's a thing that's here to stay for a little while because the market is so dramatically the inventory is low and the market's on fire right now. Because I mean, basically we're consolidating our spring market, which would go through March to maybe June, and we're consolidating that almost into May and June so far. So really just what would be 90, 120 days is now going into a 30-day period right now.
It is busy right now, but I also encourage people to maybe give a second look at some of those houses that have been on the market for a while because there are still plenty of opportunities out there. And still, when a listing sits for a while, it doesn't always catch everyone's attention because it doesn't pop up as a new listing. It doesn't go out in the new alerts that are sent out. So I think it's a great time to maybe examine some of those and see if they fit your needs too if you're looking.
Take a second look.
70 active listings in Montgomery right now.
Wow.
So there actually are, of course, some of those are homes that are to be built or under construction. So, we see that a lot.
Yeah. So it's not market saturation necessarily.
Right.
I bet you, half of those are probably some sort of new construction, and lots obviously sit on the market for a heck of a lot longer than a single family house that's finished up, or a condo for that matter. That's something that just in general, we don't talk about new construction a ton on these podcasts, but it's a big part of Montgomery, whether it's teardowns or renovations, just lots that are sitting out there right now. There's a lot of inventory in Montgomery, but it's moving, especially with market homes. When market homes are built, they're sold relatively fast. I mean, especially once they're under construction. Sometimes they sit on a little bit longer because people want to wait and see. That's a whole nother podcast to go over that, because it's something in itself, which we're actually filming another one here this week that's going to be on Montgomery and new construction. So we'll send that one out to you guys as well. But why don't you keep going with the numbers?
We were kind of talking about how long something sits on the market. So for the 26 listings that came on in May, 9 are now pending, and overall 28 homes are now under contract in Montgomery. So in May, the average was kind of 9 to 10 days on the market. That's a little bit longer than we've seen before.
Yeah, because we had seen about 7 days or so, right?
Right. Sometimes even 6-7 days. Yeah. So 9 to 10 days on the market. But I know that's a little bit slower than normal. But again, I think it's because in some of these situations, when a home is going into multiple offers, the sellers will actually request that they have a couple of days to consider all the offers coming in.
Well, and it's kind of funny because it's the market. It's relative to what you're used to, right? If you've been watching the market over the past year or two, you may think, oh my God, things are sitting on the market a little bit longer because they're taking 30 days to sell. I mean, that's obviously not. We're saying an average of 10 days,
right?
But when you look at it, when you're 30 days is still very fast. And our inventory right now in the city of Cincinnati as a whole is about a month and a half of inventory, which is not a healthy market. That means it's a seller-driven market. Basically, when we say not healthy, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's obviously lopsided. About 4 months of inventory is a healthy market. So when you look at that, we're a little spoiled right now. As I say, sellers are a little spoiled right now because they can control and dictate a lot of what's going on. But you got to be careful to check where your value is and not go over, because some people are getting a little bit excited and saying, hey, these houses are appreciating so much, let's raise it a little bit higher, even though the comps don't support that. And then that's the reason why these houses sit a little bit higher.
Yeah, the houses that are priced well, those are the houses that sell fast.
Yes.
And the multiple offer situations typically happen when a house is priced very well to the low end. That's when you see the multiple offers, which, I mean, I always encourage people, if you're thinking about it, there's nothing wrong with going on the low end of it, because sometimes you find yourself actually making more.
It creates a competitive scenario and that stuff. So keep that in mind as you're doing that. And we'll talk those details out. If you want to give Brandy or myself a call, we can talk through how to really properly price your house, because it's an art form.
We were talking about prices. So the average price, sales price for a single family home in Montgomery right now is about $675,000. That's actually down about 2% from last year's numbers, but at the same time, home values, the price per square foot is actually up by about $7.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's actually a better indication in certain areas.
Sure.
The price per square foot is what you want to look at. Yeah.
So obviously the new construction is pulling those cost averages up. So when you look at each of your home or look at a street, obviously everything is hyper local. So even though that average may be in the 600,000s on your street, it may be higher, maybe lower, depending on what you're looking at on that front. So it's something really to keep in mind. So when you're looking at all these numbers, just keep in mind that your values and everything that you're looking at should be done on a case-by-case basis. We're giving you some generalized information just to tell you about the market and say, hey, Montgomery's pretty solid right now, right?
Right. And if there are any numbers or any pieces of information that you want us to address, we're happy to do that.
Yeah, we can send some things over. We can do a Zoom call to walk through your house to understand what we're looking at. We're happy to come on over. We have special Build Collective masks now that we can
nice.
We can come on over. Yeah, we're pretty excited about those. Thanks to Jules and Bing for putting those together for us. But really, the best thing about Montgomery is, despite everything happening through the last 90 days with COVID, Montgomery still has so much to offer. I mean, being able to walk outside, and I can't tell you how many different groups of people we would see walking down the street and walking out. We were still coming to the office from time to time just because we were with family and whatnot over here. So we're really lucky to be part of such a great community, and that's why we do these podcasts, right? And then, of course, a lot's happened over the past 3 weeks with MPH opening up, as we mentioned.
Which I'll get to check it out on Tuesday.
Yeah, get to go Tuesday. Exactly. Yeah, between that and Corner Pub. And the weather's been absolutely gorgeous lately. So I think going forward from here, hopefully the weather only improves. The market's definitely going to improve. So if you're a seller, now's the time to sell. I mean, if that's what you're looking to do, don't wait any longer. Jump at it, because the market is strong. If you're a buyer, get with a great agent. Obviously, we're biased to our company, but get with a great agent so you can have access to some of the listings maybe as they hit the market or a little bit before, just to know about them. Maybe not get through them.
And
but
we
know
have
about
great
them.
relationships with other agents too. So that's helpful sometimes in getting into a house and
it's
getting
totally
where
true.
we need to be.
Yes, yeah, because there's some great agents in Montgomery. I mean, we could name a dozen right now that know exactly what they're doing, and I think we're all a resource to each other. So that's a great point.
Yes.
So you need to find an agent that plays well with others, but then also is hungry and can hustle for you to find a property, because now more than ever, that's important.
It is competitive.
It
and
is.
So we'll be back with another update in about a month to see how June has gone.
We'll give you the June update. Well, thank you guys. Hey, take care. Enjoy it. Thanks, guys.